What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Bangkok Strange Podcast. I am Dana Blue, and as always, joined by the bald, beautiful, the sexy Mikes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Up top.
Up top.
What's
You're
going
looking
on?
pretty bald and sexy, too.
I got to trim it up. I've been trying to do it once a week.
Really?
Just to keep it, like, nice.
So is that like a week's growth, or is that just this morning?
It's just a week's growth.
It's not a day's growth?
No, I do it on Sunday. Well,
Day's growth is right here.
yeah,
Right? It's a beard. Yeah, got it.
I shaved this morning.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's fucking masculine.
But yeah, so I've been trying to keep it nice and short. Keep it, because when I keep it short, right, if it gets a little long, it looks messy.
Agreed.
Yeah, so if it's longer, then you can kind of just like, yeah, whatever.
3 days I go. That's the longest I go, and then I shave.
You had a little beard action. So we tried to record Monday. We tried to record Tuesday. We skipped our live stream today on Wednesday to record because we have no episodes banked.
Yeah,
So we're getting some episodes done for you guys.
Man.
But Mike came over Monday with a beard, and then Tuesday I wasn't feeling good Monday. He got here, and I was like, I got to pass out.
No, I walked away with Dana disease.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Tuesday, he's like, I can't. I have no energy. So today we're all good. And we're talking about domestic travel in Thailand.
Yeah, for sure.
Of which I have done none, but Mike has done a lot.
I have, yeah. And, I mean, regardless of whether there's COVID or not, I mean, that was sort of the plan anyway, right, to come over here and tour Southeast Asia. But now the good news, and as we've talked about, I mean, we're friggin' the luckiest guys in the world living in Thailand right now.
100%. All those guys who left in, like, December, like, January, they're like, oh, it's going to be a madhouse. Thailand's going to be crippled. Wrong.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I think all of the negative, future-looking things that guys say about Thailand, they've never come true.
No.
They hate all foreigners.
Yeah.
They're going to kick us out.
It happens every day, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, come on. It's just like,
Well,
the government screwed up.
Bareback Walsh was like, they're going to be killing foreigners in the street. And he was, like, stockpiling, like, instant noodles. Like, yeah. Like, Jib and I bought a big pack of toilet paper at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, because you were watching the U.S. news?
No, because people were buying it here.
Oh,
right?
really?
So,
Here?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I didn't know
all the
that.
foreigners were buying it here.
Yeah, screw that.
And we were down to like 5 or 6 rolls, right? So I'm like,
so half year worth.
Yeah. So
well, no, she's a girl. Yeah,
so I'm like, let's order like one.
Yeah, right.
Right, and like we'll have it.
You're golden, yeah.
We still have it, right? Because of the bum gun, you're not using copious amounts of paper to clean your ass.
No.
Which isn't really cleaning your ass. If you have the bum gun, you're cleaning your ass. If you're only wiping, then you're just moving shit around until you can't see it anymore.
So speaking of domestic travel, so I'm down there wiping my ass. No. And but here's what's interesting is that obviously you did not have the ability to do this.
No.
Right? I mean, and to be fair, there were lines outside of my condo where people were, getting food because they didn't have it. And but obviously it's been open up and it's been open up for a while now.
Look, here's the thing, right? The lockdown sucked economically, domestic economy.
Yeah.
But we have no COVID.
We have zero, statistically, we have zero COVID.
Yes. And the cases they do find, they lock them away in quarantine and they put them in the hospital and they take care of them.
Plus, as far as I know, 100% of those people weren't like you and me down the street.
No.
It was some jackass who flew in, somehow got a piece of crap test.
What was it, the Hungarian foreign minister or something?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's no fault of his own.
No.
But it's just like you got to say to yourself, okay, well, wait a minute, what test did you take before you came in?
The other 2 cases that they got were transmissions from people who snuck in from Myanmar.
Well, I got no use for those people.
No.
I don't have use for Americans who sneak into a country, and I don't have use for Mexicans that sneak into America.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, there's a process that I have to go through. And yes, I'm doing domestic travel right now to do some international travel.
Yeah.
That's going to be expensive as fuck.
And we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah.
But you just came back from where you were? Where Koh Samui?
So no, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So recently, what I did is I took the train down to Sha'am.
Oh, sorry, Cha'am, and then
Hung out there for a couple of days, and then went to this one city for one night. Little town, whatever. I believe it's the Thai word for pine trees.
Which I don't know.
Which is Swanson,
Okay.
I think. I think it's S-U... I mean, again, it's the phonetical spell, right? But I believe it was S-U-A-N-S-O-N-G.
Yep.
And the reason I went there is what I did from Cha'am is I took Google Maps and I saw my train stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took the little guy and I basically dragged the map following the train tracks down the coast and found a stop that was the closest to the beach. And then did a Google Earth to see if there was, versus the gay Earth, I did Google Earth.
Google Earth.
Same, chime up. And then I would be like, so I found this one stop, Swan Song, and it's like a block from the beach where this stop is. It's a stop, though. It's not a station. It's a platform with a roof, no ability to buy tickets.
And you can't buy them when you get on, right?
No. And so this is the learning moment for me because I get off, I walk to the beach, I'm all excited, like things are open and everything. There's food, there's Thais vacationing. I'm like, great. So I walk up to this coffee shop. Everything's in English. So I'm thinking, okay, we can, where do I buy train tickets? And she just looks at me like, what? I said, yeah, well, I just got here on the train. And she says, Bangkok? I'm like, no. So what I discovered is that effectively you can get off on a number of stops. You just can't get back on, even though it stops coming the other direction to drop people off.
Oh.
And because I bought my ticket from Cha Am to Swam Song. And they're like, okay, yeah, here you go. 13 baht.
There's what, 40 to get to Cha Am, right?
40 baht, yes. It is a 6-hour. No, I'm sorry. It's a 4-hour train ride. It of course takes 6 hours.
$1.10 or whatever.
Free.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally I've lost that amount of change walking here this morning.
You live stream on the train?
I did live stream on the train. I had a issue initially, which was effectively. There's a lot. Speaking of domestic travel, there's a lot more people just moving.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone was on this train vacationing. I think they were like physically going to somewhere to see family or to work or whatever. And I mean, I have an indoor voice, but only when I'm indoors. And so
no, you don't have an indoor voice. I know you really well. Your indoor voice level is like half a decibel lower than your outdoor voice level. Like in your outdoor voice level is like front row basketball game screaming at LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. No, dude, from the stage you project to the back row, not the friggin' people in the front that paid extra. You make sure the people in the back can hear you. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and of course you sit across from people.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the good news is that I always start my train rides in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And I like starting it like either there. Thonburi was the name of the other station.
Oh, Thonburi.
Yeah,
okay.
Thonburi, which is like on the other side of the river. So anyway, so I'm at the Hua Lamphong, and I'm starting there.
Beautiful station, by the way. One of my favorite train stations in the world.
Correct me if I'm wrong, like 1893 that thing was made?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, clearly, I think there's original tile. I think there's original dirt.
There's something so simplistically beautiful about that train station.
And it works. It's freaking efficient as hell.
But it's just like the architecture of it's simple, but it's perfect and beautiful.
If you were to try to describe to like, I don't know, a 3 or a 4-year-old or whatever saying, this is what a train station looks like, I would want them to have the picture of that in their head for the rest of their lives.
None
of this New York
Grand
nonsense.
Central
Not
bullshit.
Piece of shit.
South Station, Boston.
Oh, fucking come on, dude. Although, to be fair, I mean, because I would take the purple line in from, what is it, the Green Bush?
Yep.
Yeah, the Green Bush line is purple trains. Fucking retarded. That's why we know the word retarded from back there. Anyway, so I would take that in. So it's not that bad. It's a little better than it used to be, but it's not.
I used to take it in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it was rough.
Right.
But actually, you know what? Taking Greyhound bus out of there, actually quite easy. Or Bonanza bus in New England.
P&B.
P&B.
Plymouth and Brock. Well, because I live in the South Shore, so I don't. Yeah.
But we had Bonanza. Would go from Rhode Island to South Station. And I'll tell you what, the way they handle the buses there, how they pull around on the roundabout.
Yeah, no, it's
pretty decent.
It is efficient. Yeah.
I almost got into a fist fight once with a security guard at South Station.
You know what's funny?
Oddly enough,
I almost got into a fist fight with someone, Greg Hall, in the 6th grade. Other than that scenario is lit, and I've been drunk and I've been an asshole, like a big time.
I've had short periods of time where I was professional fist fighter.
Okay, yeah. No, I get that. That's kind of like I got a job doing, right? You know.
No, but this guy was like straight townie.
Yeah.
Right. And,
right. I mean, who the hell is like a
So I rode my bike to South Station. I pushed it through the station to get to the thing, and there was no seats at my gate for the bus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I used to just throw my bike on the bus and get back to Rhode Island with it. So
in the aisle?
No, you throw it on the under the bus.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah,
in
right,
the
sure.
cargo space.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, literally, I'm just at the gate, but I was sitting because there was no chairs. I'm sitting on my bike.
Yeah.
I got my hands on the thing. I have my headphones on.
Right.
I'm just listening to whatever, some shitty new rock, Limp Bizkit.
Probably New Kids on the Block.
Probably some Limp Bizkit or some Korn back then.
Not some Aerosmith?
No, some douchebag music.
All right, fair enough.
And this guy's like, apparently he was like trying to tell me from like the walkways, like, hey buddy.
Oh, but you had your headphones on, so you didn't hear him.
He comes over and he pushes me, like off the bike. He's like, hey, asshole, no sitting.
What?
He's like, no, he goes, no riding the bikes in the station.
And this is a cop.
No, it's a security guard.
Okay, so rent a fucking cop.
Rent a cop.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah, no, exactly.
What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll fucking kick you out of here. I'll trespass you right out this motherfucker.
I will trespass you right out of... Jesus Christ. A townie with not even a GED.
Yeah, no. It was a... Then this lady ends up... this old lady, she's like, he was just sitting on the bike. Don't be an asshole. What the fuck's wrong with
and
you?
he's like, okay, wait.
Straight townie lady.
Absolutely, yeah.
Puts him in his place.
Right.
I'm like, thank you.
Boobs hanging down to her knees.
He's like, I better not see you around here on that bike again. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Go back to Southie.
Southie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but you've been traveling quite a bit. You flew down. You went to Krabi.
So yeah,
you eventually went to Krabi.
That's right. Yeah. So I eventually went down there, and let me get back to the train thing. So I go down to Cha'am, and then I go to this thing. So again, first learning experience. You can get off on any stop you want, but you can't necessarily get back on.
Like Hotel California. You
basically,
check in, but you
can't check out. Yeah, but which interestingly enough, I've discovered that like when you're in a Thai party, you know, they're all sitting on the floor and they're all eating whatever, and I walk in. And there's karaoke available. Yeah. What song do they think I know by heart?
Hotel California.
Oh my God, dude, that became the joke. I'm like, let me guess.
It's never the Eagles version. It's some guy named Samchai redoing it with his.
Welcome to the hotel. You know, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, a bunch of fucking drunk Mexicans singing this thing. So I go down to, anyway, so I go down there, and then from there, what I had to do is I had to take a Grab back to the Hua Hin train station. Mm-hmm. So it took me 13 baht to get down, and then 150 baht to get, so here's what's crazy. So I'm at this hotel, and I'm like, okay, a Grab. Grab will take me 155 baht, whatever. No. So it'll take me up to Hua Hin. So, of course, lady at the front desk, she's like, hey, do you want us to call you a cab, whatever? I said, no, I got Grab, whatever. Mm. And she said, no. I said, well, what's a cab? She said, like 200 baht. I said, no, don't worry about it. I said, it's real easy. I just grab it. And then, obviously, Hua Hin, you know, Grab's going in and out of there all day long. And it's 155 baht. She goes, okay, hold on. So she, like, makes a phone call, like many of them do, right? So I'm thinking, okay, she's going to call her buddy that owns a taxi. What she did was she called her boyfriend, who came over in like a, fairly new Mazda 3, whatever, right? He comes, she said, well, he's going to come over. So just before I'm going to walk out of the lobby and go, she turns around, she goes, so do you, and this is broken English, right? But she's like, do you have a problem with birds? And I'm like, no, I don't. Why? And she goes, okay, well, my bird is in the back and it's got a cover on it, but it's like, it's going to be okay. Are you okay with it? And I'm thinking, what? Why? I said, is it like really loud? So she tells me, and so we were talking about where
it's like a hunting hawk or something.
Which is, right? So I say, I wonder what this thing is. I mean, is it a giant, wingspan? Is it going to be an osprey? I'm like, this is going to be fucking amazing. And so anyway, she says, I said, well, I just came from Cha'am. She goes, oh, I was there last week. She said, and then yesterday, I actually took a day off. I was down in Prachap Kurikhan. I said, well, that's where I'm headed. She goes, yeah, I was down there and I got second place in the bird singing competition. So this chick travels around Thailand with a cage, right, with the bird inside of it. So I get in and I think to myself, okay, there's a cover on it. Whenever you put a cover on a bird cage, like I guess they think it's nighttime
they go
and
to
they're going to sleep. Something, So anyway, so we drive away. I said, oh, wouldn't it be funny, like, if this like thing just starts. So I did chirp, chirp, chirp. Like, oh, that's kind of neat, And I like look at the guy driving. Of course, he speaks no English. No, but just fine gentleman. Takes me to the train station. So then it starts like chirping, like and then loud, kind of thing. Like a pterodactyl is behind me, about ready to like yank up my jugular. So that was like hilarious. But he drives me, and so I got a ride from the front desk lady's boyfriend
in her bird
to the train station.
Nice.
So it drops me off. So then my 13 baht train ticket turned into 155 baht, 160 baht, whatever it was. So then I go down to Prachap Kurikhan, which I really, really like. Another learning moment about Prachap Kurikhan, I didn't realize that this time of year they have a ton of wind and a ton of high seas that like splash over the, I guess, boardwalk, if you will, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, this is one night, like they have a storm that's coming or whatever. And no, I mean, she goes, oh no, this is every year it happens, like around November.
Wow.
So I go over to this other place, like kind of like around the mountain in Prachap. And there's this like harbor where all of the like the daily fishermen, like not the ones that have like a place to sleep. There's just like the one, they got the arms like with all of the light bulbs in it, whatever. So I go over there and it starts blowing and blowing and blowing. So I test out, I have to like share that with you actually. I tested out my GoPro 9. it couldn't. It was as if there was no wind. It must have been blowing 50 miles an hour. I mean, boats were capsizing. Whole families were out there with ropes trying to pull these things in.
Yeah, and there's
amazing.
that white dude testing his GoPro 9.
Well, and so I was there. So I'm taking pictures of it, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's livelihood, like, literally is upside down underneath the water.
Yeah.
So I'm like, probably shouldn't, you know.
I'll tell you what, though. It is the noise reduction on the GoPro 9 is fucking amazing.
And as you know, I mean, you and I have been doing this audio thing for a while.
Yeah.
Like right now, if we had a in the background, okay, single frequency, you know, there's software out there
notch it out.
essentially for free, notch it out. Couple of frequencies, okay.
I could do that in Audition, no problem.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But if there's like white noise in the background, white noise, basically the definition of white noise, it's the combination of all of the frequencies, right? Which is why it sounds like because it's all right. And so that is effectively what wind noise is.
Yep.
But so is the ocean waves.
Yeah.
It's an oscillating, and you can hear the damn waves, but you don't hear the wind.
It's crazy.
What? It's got to be AI. I cannot.
Course it's AI. Of course
yeah,
it is.
because I cannot understand how, as humans, we can't do that.
No.
When I'm starting to interface now with technology that can do stuff that I can't do, like, I mean, obviously anything a computer could do, it can do it much faster.
Yeah.
Okay, like it can add 30,000 numbers, but we can still do that.
Yes.
We cannot.
No, and I could sit here for hours cleaning up audio on something, and not get as close as the GoPro does. I wish I had the GoPro. I had a project I was filming before, like years ago, and I had a kid working for me, and he ended up just being incompetent. Like, he just started out really good and just, like, tanked.
Sure.
And this kid, Nan, and he recorded a whole bunch of interviews without the mic plugged in. And so
literally zero audio?
No, he was using the on-camera audio.
Okay.
And, like, at one of them, he had literally set the camera up, which is an omnidirectional mic, which
picks up everything.
And he sets up under an aircon. And
oh, the poor kid.
so he had, like, I tasked him with doing, like, 12 of these.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And so he comes back, he gives me the files. I'm like, dude, the audio is bad. He's like, yeah, it wasn't great. Like, not great. It's not even usable, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
I'm like, oh, you fucking suck at your job.
So obviously,
you suck at life.
Ex-employee.
Yeah, ex-employee.
But yeah, I mean, you can't just, oh, okay, he gave me some shit. I'll just throw it in Audition.
No.
And I mean, it's literally impossible.
Yeah, so
right?
I ended up, he didn't have the original files. He deleted everything after he rendered out the videos.
So he would have the space.
And so he had music over the audio and everything.
Jeez.
So I ended up asking my buddy Uncle Bob to go in and clean it out. He's a audio engineer. And he did the best he could.
Sure,
but,
right, yeah.
I was like,
no, I mean, it was amazing. So
if anyone could do it, he could, and he got as close as he could.
Right,
yeah.
but now on the fly, before you even record the first 1 and 0.
So, and the other thing is, you were on your bike at one point, live streaming off the bike.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
I don't know, where'd you have that GoPro mounted? It was on the handlebars?
Basically, yes. It was on, you know how like the mirrors?
Yeah.
Right, so it's like a couple inches above.
Ram.
Yeah.
So you're like a meter behind it. Or not a meter, but like maybe 60 centimeters behind it.
I mean, my arms, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so you're driving, and wind hitting the camera, and I can hear your voice perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And you were driving around. Was that Cha-Am that day?
That was Cha-Am. And if you think about it on a GoPro, where is the microphone that picks up more audio? In the front.
Yeah.
Right?
And I could hear your voice fine and no wind.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because, I mean, dude, you take like that GoPro and you talk behind it.
Yeah, nothing.
No, you flip it around. It's like 60 dB hotter.
At one point, you're driving like 50 kilometers an hour down this long road, and you even say, "Oh, it's probably you guys probably can't hear me right now."
Because it's such a crosswind.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's no because like literally, if Gracie had been there comes a tear. No, but if Gracie had been on the back behind me, it would have been harder for her to hear me. Than this freaking camera.
Insane.
I was blown away.
You went out to the national park in Cha-Am.
Yeah, so here's what's interesting, and maybe some other people will know like why they differentiate it this way. So there's a park in Cha-Am, and then there's also a park right on the beach, part of a mountain in Prachap Kurikan. But they're both referred to as forest parks. Now, I've been to national parks that are labeled, national park in the front, and they certainly have a forest in them. So I don't think that's like the requirement. But do you have any idea why they differentiate one from a national park? Because in the U.S., right, there's national and there's state parks.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know why why it's called a forest park.
I'm not sure.
It seemed to have like, that logo that the Thai I don't know, like government stuff always had. It's got the seal. With
it's a garuta.
It's a garuta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a It's like it looks like Waterroon actually, right? The statue. Yeah. So the little circle. So they had that. And so that was great too, and tried to like do some walking through there. But it was, I mean, again, it was really nice because it was all train. It was effectively all train. The train that I took back, another important safety tip, was it was leaving at about 1 a.m. Was supposed to get here at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Now again.
You told me, like, not my first rodeo.
It's not my first rodeo. So if you're like, oh, what are you going to do when you get home? I'm like, you mean when I get home about 10:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Because by the time it picked me up, the train was supposed to be there in Prachuap at 1:10 a.m. It rolled in at 2 a.m., which is pretty good, actually.
Now, you had said you expected to be home about 9:30.
Yeah.
Or arrive at the train station. What time did you actually arrive at the train station?
That's a good question. I can't remember right now. I want to say... I could check back like through my messages because I think I like messaged you and said,
Maybe.
hey, but it was like probably about 9 or 10. But what I did right after that, and basically the reason I came home effectively is to go to pharmacies to get medication that I simply could not get down there then. In other words, they're like, oh yeah, we can order this. It'll be here in 5 or 6 days. I'm like, right, I'm going to be at another beach in 5 or 6 days, so I can't. Yeah. And this was even in Hua Hin, which was a little bit disappointing. But regardless.
Really? In Hua Hin you couldn't get?
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. No, I did not stop in Hua Hin purposely. So Cha Am, I couldn't get it, and then the other cities were just way too small.
Hua Hin fan.
No, me neither. It's too gringo. Yeah. There's freaking golf courses everywhere.
It's also kind of a shitty like excuse for anything as far as the city goes.
So I will say, I mean, here's what's interesting about Thailand in a couple of places. I think specifically Hua Hin Beach and Chawang Beach in Samui. The beach, when there's nobody there, is breathtaking.
No, if you want good beach,
gorgeous.
I think it's good beach.
But there's a lot of people that go there.
But if you want a city to live in, Hua Hin's not a good choice, in my opinion.
Exactly, and I completely concur with that. I would not live there, but
if you want an overcrowded beach town to live in, Hua Hin's a good choice.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, there are many retirees. Usually, it seems like they're old couples, not old single guys.
No, those dudes go to Pattaya.
And well, yeah, that's true. I mean, and I will say, I mean, Pattaya is pretty. I'm actually heading down there for the fireworks festival, which again, domestic travel. We'll talk about that. But so I get back up here, and I went to Bkk Bagels. Yeah. Which, if you guys like bagels and you've never been,
it's a good spot.
Right there on Chitlom. Yeah. Right underneath. Great place, great customer service. 99 baht for a bagel and coffee.
And if you're vegan too, you can get the veggie monger. And they have hummus, so you don't need to get cream cheese.
Yeah, I like hummus actually.
The hummus is pretty good.
Chickpeas, right?
Chickpeas, tahini, lemon juice,
olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil.
Sometimes, yeah. So I got back.
The places here, they love to pour like a half a cup of olive oil on top of your hummus.
Well, at least they don't pour fish oil on it. Yeah. Jesus, that would be brutal.
So I imagine the burps.
Oh man, just the taste. That's a little salty much. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to get like some Imodium as you're eating it. You would need to down some of that. So I did, So I did that part of it, and that was just like sort of one piece of it. My next goal is, my next requirement, if you will, is to fly from Surat Thani back to Don Muang because I have an Air Asia ticket that I booked through the Air Asia Pass. And if I am a no-show on this one, my Air Asia Pass is invalid. Yeah. Here's what's interesting.
Technically.
Because again, it's just a computer. Yeah. It's just like if n equals 3, delete, right? So that I'm quite confident it's not a human.
And when is your Air Asia Pass up?
So I can book my last flight on November 26th, and I can fly as late as December 17th. When I checked yesterday, the only 2 days to have flied at least the 3 or 4 cities that I checked in and out of, as well as in and out of Bangkok too. December 16th and December 17th were the only ones that were still available for the price, which is effectively 100 baht leaving Bangkok and then 50 baht to basically get back. And so I got to do that here in the next. I'll book my sort of last flight. But here's what was interesting is they have some text that's pretty hidden on their website. It talks about renewing your Air Asia Unlimited Pass. Oh. I'm going to be pretty stoked, dude, if all of a sudden they're like, yeah, if you just want to give us another 3,000 baht, you get it for another 6 months.
So there's some renewal option.
Potentially. So I'm very excited about that. So,
So here's the other thing is that you have the Air Asia, and we talked the other day that there's now a Bangkok Airways for 100,000 baht.
Yes, but it's I don't think it's a very good deal.
Now there's one place that only they go to, right? Is that Samui?
Samui's the one that everyone knows about. There's a few airports that are owned by Bangkok Airways.
Okay.
Samui is one of those. There's a couple of others. But for the most part, that's the one that people sort of associate with. And because of that, they're like, they don't even allow any other carriers in. They did for a while, and one could argue, yeah, it's more revenue, right? But the fact is that the cost of a Bangkok Airways flight versus AirAsia, it's usually 2, if not 3x.
Yeah.
Customer service, much better.
Well, you paid 5,000 baht for your unlimited pass.
3,000.
Right? 3,000. And AirAsia is 100,000.
Bangkok Airways, yes.
Oh, Bangkok Airways
I knew what you meant.
100,000.
Yeah, and
so there's a bit of a delta there.
Come on. I mean, it's like buying 4 families AirAsia unlimited passes.
Now look, of course it's a much nicer airline.
Yes, but I don't believe it flies all the places that AirAsia does.
No, I think AirAsia has a much bigger footprint.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking like, again, domestic travel, just in Thailand.
Just in Thailand.
I don't think Bangkok Airways goes to Chumphon or like what's the city to the east of Surat Thani, right on the beach? There's another airport down there. It's like Nakhon. It's not Nakhon Ratchasima. It's like Nakhon something.
I have
mean,
no
I could,
idea.
what if there were only a global information network that had maps
that
on
we
it
could look up,
relative to GPS?
Yeah.
Anyway, so east there, it's got another one. Yeah, and so that I also have fairly realistic expectations about AirAsia. I will never be comfortable on an AirAsia plane unless I get the seat with extra legroom in the emergency exit row.
I'm a row 14 guy.
Yeah, I'm 12 Delta.
So 12 doesn't recline though.
That's absolutely correct. And the beauty of that is the chances of someone being behind me, kicking me in the back with their knees, 0.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
that's
I know
true.
you like the recline, and I actually do think about you when I'm on there because I'm like, all right, well, maybe I should have gotten the other one. But then all of a sudden, because they will seat families in row 15.
Yes.
No. Because they stopped allowing me to carry slingshots on planes where I can just basically pummel a kid right in the throat and he shuts right up. So now that I don't have that ability.
Now, you're only really going south. You're not going north at all. But we have to go north pretty soon.
Which I got to figure out, too, because I'm traveling, obviously, on the 17th and then down and around, and I've been doing a lot. And then here's the other thing, too, is that I'm not going to go into a big emotional description of it, but I am significantly more distracted than I thought I ever would be with the fact that Gracie is not with me.
Yeah.
It's one thing, I miss my girl.
It's been pretty rough for you.
It's been a lot more bothersome in the last month than I thought. Cha it's one of those things that you could argue, Mike, you're basically throwing salt in your own wounds because that is on day 2 of our lives together for the rest of our lives. We're living in Cha We lived there for 6 weeks. I stayed at a condo that was literally down the hallway from the one that she and I stayed in for. And so I'm like, okay, dude, come on. You're
doing that to yourself.
Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, but I really do like it here. And so the neat thing is that because I'm not uploading YouTube videos on my channel anymore, I do live streams. But basically the only videos that I make were in the morning walking on the beach, and I would send the link to just Gracie and
to your mom.
And my mom. So that was nice. So Cha is great for that because the sunrises are awesome, right? So that was pretty cool. But again, it's kind of distracting. So it's a little tough. The other thing that I realized, and I know that you're going to give me shit, everyone else in the world gives me shit about this, the minute it gets below 70. I know. I get it. Trust me. And it was almost impossible.
Where are you from again?
Yeah, Southern California.
No. Before that.
Well, okay, so Boston. But don't forget, which place have you lived in longest? I lasted 20 years in Boston.
Yeah, but those are 20 years that forged you. Forged you in that shitty, slushy, salt-covered
precisely.
road.
But here's the thing with me is it's not just like, oh, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, Mike, my mood, I have no idea. I seriously think I'm going to need medication if I'm going to be somewhere and again, you could argue, well, yes, but Gracie also wasn't there. Yeah. Gracie's never been to the friggin' Hill Tribe, so that's like no big deal. But like, I'm sitting there thinking, we have to go in the summer. I literally will not be able to tolerate it from a mental capacity. You say that. You don't know.
I know you'll be fine.
You need to realize that I took 2 weeks of medical leave off of my job in March to go to Maui, okay? Because I was so miserable.
You'll be fine.
In San Diego.
So during the day,
nobody in the United States gets miserable in San Diego.
Overnight, you'll be a little chilly. You'll have a sleeping bag. You'll be nice and toasty.
You're not me.
I'm gonna get you some of those hand warmers. You throw those in your sleeping bag. You'll be sweating.
It's the equivalent of me trying to convince you to not sweat outdoors in Thailand.
Yeah.
It's impossible, right?
You will be fine. Trust me.
It is a medical response that your body goes through that is involuntary.
During the day, it won't be below 70.
Okay.
It probably won't be below 80 during the day.
Okay.
At night, it'll be a little chilly.
So I'll take showers at like 3 p.m. Hottest part of the day.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. No matter what,
Yeah.
that water's cold as fuck.
Oh, because it's coming from the mountains?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be a pretty big motivator for me to develop a solar water system.
Yeah.
Because they have glass up there, right? So we could do the greenhouse effect, the black background
Yeah.
inside of it. Right? I mean, I don't need copper. Just run the water.
So something like we could definitely plan for that. But I think during the day you'll be fine.
Right.
Nighttime, it's still comfortable. Like early, like
For you.
No, dinner time, it's still comfortable. Overnight, you're gonna need that sleeping bag. You'll be sleeping with a beanie on.
But we're bringing, like, I don't own a sleeping. Do you own a sleeping bag? We're just gonna have to go to like.
No, they have them up
big
there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last time Jib and I went up, they had a tent and sleeping bag set up for us.
Okay. Does that cost them money?
No, they already had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Because I've done this before. I've been to like villages where the people are very poor.
Yeah.
But it's also very custom. I mean, and they give me this meal.
No, it was the teacher who had it in the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize till afterwards. I'm like, oh my god, look at this. They feed me every day, and there's like literally people starving in the village that I'm eating. I'm like, well, I found that out after I leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, how do I repay you for that?
Yeah, like
know?
for meals, I eat with the students every day when I'm up there.
Okay.
And like I bring all that food. Like we'll stop and we'll grab all those vegetables and that food.
Yeah. Well, plus we have a 2-armed woman now that can drive us up there in the truck, not just the one-armed bandit.
Not the one-armed guy. Yeah.
That's gonna be good.
So we have to plan that trip very soon. So
we
figure
do.
out your December travel, and then we'll double click on that.
Before or after December 17th, I will be flying somewhere. It could potentially be returning to Bangkok or going somewhere. I haven't decided. The other thing too that I'm having a hard time with is that I was looking. Obviously, I'm looking for any and all possible ways to get Gracie here.
Yeah.
Visa. I mean, I'm looking at visas obviously that cost basically $16,000.
Yes.
A 5-year visa that costs $16,000, and arguably one of the more sought after or difficult visas to get for someone from this part of the world is the U.S. tourist visa.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but it only costs $350.
The upside to this though is that it's you said that it's a pain in the ass to get the U.S. visa, but the Thai elite visa is very easy. Essentially, you go through the check, you give them cash. In theory.
So yeah. Now, she needs to get this at the Thai embassy in Manila, who is incompetent. And they don't answer their phone, the ones that ring, and then the other half of the phones that are published on their website that is grossly out of date are disconnected.
That's hilarious.
And from a Thai perspective, I'm like, how can you let that? I mean, they are proud.
You know what's crazy, too, is you said the one in Cambodia, they're emailing you back at 10 at night.
I emailed them this morning to ask them a question, and by the time I was walking to your house, I got a response.
But you said the other day they emailed you 10 at night.
Yeah, I said in the morning, what do I need to do this? And they put everything, number 1, number 2, number 3, send it over to David, right? And, but yeah, 10 p.m. I'm like, wait a second. That means that, like, you guys close at 5. There's no way you waited 5 hours and you're like, oh, I'm just going to email this one guy back. I was in a queue. You've been providing great customer service to hundreds of people all day. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that is not the when I email the Thai embassy in Manila, I get an auto response that basically says, due to COVID, limited hours, limited people, and obviously limited competence.
Well, the hours and people might be a real issue, right? Because in Cambodia, they're essentially back to full operating.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. They answer emails on Saturday.
Yeah. So because COVID's really, supposedly they've got it under lock in Cambodia.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, let's face it, our buddy Todd, he left New York City
to get better service in Cambodia.
And you could argue, like, New York City, of all the business places in the U.S., ideally they have their shit together in New York City.
But they were really hurting from COVID, so I bet you the embassy was shut down.
And they also didn't. That's the other thing that I'm having. When I actually am able to communicate with somebody at the Thai embassy in Manila, they don't even know what an elite visa is. They're like, yeah, because if I'm 16,000 in and I can't get the item I paid for.
Some people pay as much as, $60K for those.
Well, it depends how long.
The 20-year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Apparently, they used to offer a lifetime.
Yeah.
What did that cost?
I believe it was either 3 or 5 million baht. I can't remember. I know guys that had a lifetime one that literally sold it. They transferred. It cost 10,000 baht at the elite office, and then you got to pay the guy whatever he wants to. But he was like so desperate for money. I think my buddy, he bought a lifetime elite for, I want to say 1.6 million baht.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's like, look, Thai wife, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to live here. He's not 50, so can't do the retirement. And yeah, so I mean, the alternative, of course, it's not an alternative. Another option would be the TR visa, the tourist visa that she can get there. But we haven't bothered to proactively put basically 500,000 baht of cash in a bank in her name.
6 months ago.
6 months ago. I got it, but her name's not on it.
So
you know?
the lifetime visa thing, that's interesting. That could live forever. You could just keep transferring it. Or is there a limit?
Good question. I don't know if you can. Yeah, like every now and then you just like, well, you know what? Now that I'm 50, I'll just sell this baby for 1 million baht.
Yeah.
I get that's all I need is 800,000 baht in the bank for my renewal. And yeah, so that's a good point. I don't know if he can transfer it. It might be only transferable one time.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that the current ones, none of those are transferable. Oh. You can't even give it to like your daughter or your son or something like that. Yeah.
I know you can't extend the benefits of the elite to family members.
So it depends what they are. Yes. In other words, I have to, or Gracie, if she were to get the 5-year elite, I would have to, she would have to physically be there for me to be able to take like the limo ride. You know. But
go to the golf course.
Go to the golf course or get a massage or a spa. Actually, it's interesting enough with this one. It's called the Easy Access, I believe. 500,000 baht. What they do have not advertised, but obviously as someone who's been approved, who they're expecting 500,000 baht from. Starting January 1st, it's going to be 600,000 baht. Yeah, so that's an important safety tip.
Yeah,
you know, because right now the reason I can sort of justify financially a 500,000 baht 5-year visa is that to renew my current one, for the sake of argument, let's say it's $15,000 for 500,000 baht, so it's 3,000 bucks a year, right? And to get my visa renewed this year, it was about 1,500, 1,670, so basically half price.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, her visa is just twice the cost of mine. That's not ridiculous.
And hassle free.
Big time hassle free, like insane benefits.
So you recently went down to Krabi.
I was down in Krabi and mainly to scout out how much feces was on the beach because my really good buddy Dana, he's convinced
full of feces, bird feces. So
here's the only thing about I liked Krabi a lot. It had an equivalent area to Chawang Beach in Koh Samui, which is high density tourist area.
Well, the beaches look nice.
The beaches are very nice for sure. I will say that the further south I got, the nicer the beaches got, the nicer the sand got. I would argue that the beaches on the west side of the Gulf of Thailand, they seem to have nicer sand in general than the ones on the east side.
Okay. But
I haven't spent a ton of time on there. I've been to like 5 areas effectively. I've been to the island, and then I've also been to Bang Sien. Obviously, I've been to Pattaya. I've been to Jom Tien, which is arguably essentially Pattaya. Rayong, in a little parts. I haven't gone all the way down to Koh Chang, so I can't speak to the quality of the sand there. But on the west, it seems to be pretty nice. So I did that. Krabi was great because from Krabi, you can get to a lot of places. Obviously, Railay Beach, huge for YouTubers.
You didn't go, right?
I did not go, purposely because I was down there for like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
When I travel to places I haven't been to before for 5 or 6 days, I usually stay there for 5 or 6 days. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to check out I got the rest of my life to travel. And ideally, I'll do it with Gracie, too. Yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, so I'm just going to hang up. But I rented a motorbike, cruised around, went to this amazing beach, this amazing little beach.
Joy Beach.
Joy Beach, dude. And she was so nice, and I spent hours there. The other nice thing about
drinking some crazy strong coffee.
That was intense coffee. I'm like, okay, I need another mango smoothie just to like balance out to my level of energy. And so, but was interesting was being down there, being on these beaches that were, yes, they're relaxing, but being there essentially by myself, it gave me some time to really reflect on like what I want, what's important, that sort of thing.
You got a bit of a head trip in Krabi.
Yeah, because I was like, why am I doing any behavior that could be anywhere near labeled as work?
Yeah, I was getting messages from you that I was worried about.
I was like, well, the other thing, too, is that when I'm on vacation, regardless of where I am, I don't particularly like to be bothered.
Yeah.
And I discovered that, and this is, I have nothing against the religion of Islam, but the Muslim communities that sort of sprout up seem to buy as many like motorbikes as they buy loudspeakers, and they install them on the telephone poles kilometers away from their mosque.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why the noise can't be, and that bothers me. Like, to the point where I was going to do a live stream and I couldn't because the sound was so loud. And I'm like, I don't understand why this is. And so I like put on a Facebook group. I'm like, hey, so like what are the times for this? I can't remember, because I know that there's like, prayer times, right? And it's like I used to have a guy that worked for me. He was Muslim. 10:30 in the morning, he would go and do his prayer, come back 5 minutes later. Awesome. I found it kind of interesting. What he didn't do is run somewhere with a megaphone and start announcing to everybody and I'm just like, this is not vacation for me.
Yeah.
So I discovered areas of Krabi that actually are very quiet. I found a national park. It was very tiny, but it was very cool. I liked it there too. Krabi is in a good spot to be able to check out another bunch of other spots. But I think in that area, my favorite location right now is Surat Thani.
Okay.
Not to stay in Surat Thani, but to get to Surat Thani, take a van over to one of the piers and get to either Koh Phangan or Koh Samui. I haven't been to Koh Tao yet. You?
No.
I'm thinking about Koh Tao, but I'm thinking about getting there from Chumphon.
But see, I'm not an island guy. I go north when I travel. Like, I want to go to like the mountains, or I want to go to like these more remote places up north.
And what is the sort of environment up there? Because obviously I'm a beach guy, sun, that tropical sort of thing. When you go up into the mountains, it's like greenery, springs, waterfalls.
Fresh air.
Got it.
Yeah,
crisp, clean air.
Yeah. Well, not in March and April, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you don't go there then, right? I mean,
No,
you
purposely you don't go during the burning
for the
season.
burning, yeah.
Some people maybe they do. I don't know. But.
So what's your place up there? What's your Koh Samui for you? What's your Koh Phangan for you up there?
See, I don't really have an individual spot. I can pretty much, if it's a nice location, it's green, it's chill. I can chill anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I've been up to Chiang Mai a bunch. I like Mekong Song. I like it up there. Nan, good place like that.
Yeah, that's far.
Yeah, I don't like going up. I've been to Isan a bunch, and it's just everywhere I've been in Isan's not for me.
Well, that's kind of like saying I've been to California. Like, have you been to Barstow or Beverly Hills?
Yeah, so
I mean, Isan's massive.
To Kangen, I've been to the provinces outside Kangen, Udon Thani, Ubon Ratchathani.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't been to everywhere in Isan, but like there's cool shit in Isan. Don't get me wrong. It's just a bit. It feels like a bit like dry and dusty to me. Like not the greatest locations.
Well, I mean, I think one of the reasons that at least the finite amount of research certainly that I've done on Isan is arguably the poorest area of Thailand. It doesn't mean that people are dying every day, but they're like they've got less. But isn't it also one of the places where it's like it's the least sort of conducive to farming, yet they farm. Like, isn't it kind of like the Midwest? Like, that's the worst place to grow corn, but that's where we grow the shit out of it in the United States, right? I mean, what the farming up there is what, rice?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere is rice and Isan, yeah. Some fruit.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not a bad spot. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad place, but just like I would go north before I went northeast again.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
What Pai, is that the name of the place?
Pai's up north, yeah.
That's in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought, what is the place in Vietnam? I can't remember.
That's like supposedly Pai's like a super hipster town. Like a bunch of like Bangkokians moved up there, opened coffee shops.
Dude, you think you could do drop shipping from there?
They probably kick you out. It's not.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's not it's not Chiang Mai.
Yeah, the other thing that I would love to be able to Google is quiet neighborhood, no mosque / no drop shippers. I don't think Google can give me the red pins that have that criteria, but
yeah, always over 80, right?
Over
85 probably.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal.
Humid, right? You want humid.
I actually don't mind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will tell you that if it's not humid and sunny, I don't turn it down.
I would take dry. Personally, like I would love to live in like a desert.
Oh,
dry and
Jesus
hot.
Christ! Like Phoenix?
Yeah, like
now kitty litter box in a microwave, dude. That is exactly what occurs there. You do not dry is.
I love dry.
Have you been to like Phoenix and?
I've never done Phoenix. I've been to Vegas. I've been to
like May.
Yeah.
Oof. yeah, that's friggin' hot and dry. So dry, dude. So my fingers crack and bleed.
Yeah, so
and I'm in dry
it was
areas
a
like
bit
that.
dry. So I had issues with my nose when I was out there. But I tell you what, as far as like health wise, like breathing is good in dry air. You know, it's great.
Yeah, I don't. I like moist. I like many things moist. Actually, you know how people say, you know what, just don't sweat the petty stuff. I always respond with, no, don't pet the sweaty stuff. Up top.
I'll give you an up top for
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
But so when you're traveling, how many Thais are you seeing on these trips?
That's what everybody else is.
So like really not a lot.
Especially the train.
Not of foreigners.
0 foreigners on the train.
How about the hotels?
Okay, so the hotels I'm going to, and I love traveling Monday through Thursday. If I am traveling Monday through Thursday, many times, I would say at least 50% of the time, I am literally the only guy there. Not the only other Thais are the ones that are working there.
And you're getting crazy deals on places to stay.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, I'll give you a great example. So I'm down in Cha'am, and I get my first couple of nights at this place via Agoda, which is Agoda Homes, right? So then I see that for whatever reason, I have to check out on Saturday because it's not available anymore. Well, then I go over to Airbnb, and this lady has that same place listed starting on Saturday, and I can stay a few more days. So I send her an email. I'm like, hey, can I just stay? I don't have to check out and check back in. I paid her like a 500 baht cleaning fee for the first 3 days and for the second 3 days because the rate I was getting on this condo was so ridiculous. I mean, I paid the chick 1,000 baht in cleaning fees, which is stupid. You can get your house cleaned for 1,000 baht,
probably twice.
But I was like, I mean, she's giving me this place for $21 a night.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, dude, I walked in. You can tell if someone's been there like an hour before, a month before. The smell.
Jib was just talking to me about these hotels in Bangkok. You can rent the rooms now by the month or do like a 6-month contract.
Yeah.
And stay in these hotels for like 7,000 baht a month, 12,000 baht a month. And decent rooms.
Oh, and they clean it every friggin' day.
No. So they include cleaning once a week.
That's still decent.
Yeah,
it's a bit. Yeah, I would be curious. I will say that I like one of the reasons that I do probably more Airbnb, especially when Gracie and I are together and we're in a new place, is because I like having the sort of the kitchen area. I'm not a cooker, right? But it's like nice having, because usually you get a bigger fridge and that sort of thing. Versus
to keep all your beer in.
Well, pretty much that and my cocaine. I like my cocaine really, really chilled.
Yeah, it feels good going in.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't like it so much. I just really love the smell. I really love the smell of that stuff.
Almost addicted.
Pretty much. And it's funny. I think that even though Time Magazine told us it's non-addictive. Did you remember that?
No.
That's the big joke, actually, in Cocaine Anonymous, for example, is that in like 1986. Time Magazine came out, and the front page basically was an article about cocaine and how it's not addictive.
Really?
Because it was this new hip thing. And the only people that doing it were like the new hip people, and it was really expensive.
Bankers.
Yeah, psychology. I mean, everybody, right? Like people in the entertainment industry. That was where basically the recovery community for cocaine started in Studio 17, 27, one of those. Maybe it was, I can't remember, in Los Angeles, but. Yeah, I mean, they were like, oh, no, this is totally good stuff. It's great stuff. And I agree.
This is in the 80s?
Yeah, it was mid-80s. I didn't start till 89.
How long was cocaine around for? It must have been out in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, it was. But you got to remember, it was just like, well, so was heroin, too, right? But it was like, wow, you are really, and now, I mean, that's like one of the top opiates in general, are the top sort of drugs in the United States right now.
Killing people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, big time. And, but the deal is, I mean, obviously alcohol kills a lot more people than friggin' cocaine.
Smoking kills more than that.
And it's, like 400,000 people a year, I think, in the U.S.
Crazy.
But the problem is that it was like, it was sort of sold as this, sort of upper class type drug.
Yeah.
To make cocaine, you end up with a lot of byproducts that aren't necessarily desirable, but they will absolutely screw you up, right? And that's what crack cocaine is. Crack cocaine is the bullshit, which is a lot cheaper. But you snort cocaine traditionally. You smoke crack cocaine. And apparently, I've never done this, thank fucking God, never ingested crack cocaine by smoking it. And because apparently you get addicted in like seconds.
Really?
Yeah. And do really, I mean, I did weird shit, but you do really weird shit.
You were never blowing dirty dudes for a hit of coke?
No, but I'll tell you, If it got bad enough,
if you had to, you had to, right?
It's really funny. I think back, like, I mean, thank God. I mean, I only did it for 3 years, but of course I did it every single friggin' day. But like, what would I have done? Would I have killed somebody? I mean, if he was a bad guy, maybe, right?
In the throes of coke, right? Like, or in the throes of withdrawal.
Yeah, I guess. I was kind of weird. I really didn't have really bad withdrawals.
Because you quit cold turkey.
Well,
right?
I also never ran out.
Yeah.
So it's
but
yeah,
you
I
quit
did.
cold turkey.
Yeah, I did. May 26th of 1992, I ran out. I made 2 phone calls that day. I called my dealer to try and get some more, but he let it go to voicemail. And then I called what was the very popular sort of recovery phone number, believe it or not, in Southern California at the time, 1-800-COCAINE.
Nice.
And I said, what do I do?
Yeah.
And this was on a Monday. And he says, you need to go to this meeting. So then I called my girlfriend, had her come over with basically a pack of cigarettes and a huge bottle of Southern Comfort. Yeah. Downed the entire bottle of Southern Comfort in about probably 90 seconds. Went over to her house, passed out, fell asleep, woke up Thursday morning, and went to my first meeting on May 28th and haven't had any since.
Damn.
I am the literally luckiest guy in the friggin' world.
Crazy.
Because I've wanted to, but I was obsessed. Like, I was obsessed with cocaine, and then I was obsessed with not doing cocaine. Yeah. I did anything I absolutely had to do.
So you're addicted to being sober.
Yeah. And it's funny because people are like, oh, you just traded one addiction for another. No shit. Yeah. Cocaine versus banging hot 20-year-olds, because I was 20 at the time.
And not having, not hot coked up 20-year-olds.
No, yeah, exactly. You know, it was like, well, to be fair, one drug to another. The next drug that I hopped into was smoking.
Yeah.
And all of us did, like me and a whole bunch of buddies that just got sober like around that time, smoked like chimneys, drank coffee like crazy. We would go to coffee shops for 14, 15 hours.
Damn.
Just to, but there was this 7-Eleven, I'll never forget, where I was living in Southern California. And I would walk out of my way 4 blocks so that I wouldn't go anywhere near that 7-Eleven because I was terrified that if I walked near that 7-Eleven, I would go inside and buy alcohol. 2 years I walked around that thing.
Damn.
Yep. Wouldn't go.
Now you have no problem going to 7-Eleven.
Gotta commit, dude. I go to 7-Eleven, buy those fucking pineapple things that 7-Eleven makes all day long. I will tell you, about domestic travel, I really, really appreciate the fact that 7-Eleven
is ubiquitous.
Is a ubiquitous monopoly.
Yeah.
It is so damn... If anyone ever says that a monopoly is a bad thing, no.
Yeah.
I can count on, if I see a 7-Eleven sign, I literally could live right there for the rest of my life.
Well, if you think about it, what's the furthest you've ever been in Thailand from a 7-Eleven?
I would say way up north, not Kon Ratchasima, actually Korat.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still around.
Oh, yes.
You still walk to one.
No, and people don't say, I'm going to go into town. No. They say,
I'm going to 7-Eleven.
I'm going to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Which means there might be a town around it. There'll probably be great fried chicken.
Yeah.
Your 7-Eleven has great fried chicken, guy.
Pretty much, if you see a lady, 50 years old plus, in front of a 7-Eleven selling fried chicken, bets are off. You're going to get it.
Yeah. Like, literally, I cannot believe that KFC is even in business in this country.
Right.
Why would anyone go? I mean, the coleslaw, but...
Yeah, but I mean, the fried chicken, I mean, you get... Yeah, I don't think anyone would argue that there's better fried chicken. We'll do a whole episode on street food coming up. But anyway, I think we've hit all the nails on the head and all the sidetracks that we wanted to on.
Which, of course, we always... Let's talk about domestic travel. Really, Mike? Via cocaine? No, but I mean, I will tell you that...
2 years of 7-Eleven avoidance.
just to be able to travel domestically. I will say that if you are listening to this and you are anywhere in Thailand or anywhere near Thailand and can get to Thailand, this is hands down the best time in the history of Thailand to travel, because you have all the modern conveniences. You have effectively all the ways that you would normally travel to travel, because the boats are going, the ferries are running, the trains are running, the buses are running, and the cost of everything,
and it's safe.
Wicked safe.
So safe.
1 in the morning, I'm walking from my hotel down the street, going to the train station.
I mean safe from COVID.
And it's that's the other. I mean, zero COVID. Statistically insignificant zero COVID.
Here's the thing too: is like Mike said, you can go to all these places super cheap. Mike was staying on literally his place in Kopanang on the beach, on not like next to the beach.
No, it's like
not in front of the beach, literally on the beach.
Not beach view.
No, not beach view. Like he stepped out of his bungalow every day into sand.
First step.
and like literally the water was 20 meters away.
Yeah.
So like, and you were paying what, 600 baht a night for that?
What was crazy is when I first started there,
$21.
yeah, when I first started, it was 700 baht a night, and then after staying there a few nights, she's like, "Oh, well, you can just give me 600,"
Yeah.
because I became like, I guess, part of the family or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Free. We have a word for 600 baht bungalows on the beach in California.
Yeah, free.
Free.
But I mean, just the cost, the savings, and the value you're getting. Also, keep in mind, so that beach, what do you call it, Isthmus? That little beach?
It's
so that beach.
Koma.
Have you ever seen a photo of Koma
on Instagram
where it was empty?
Easily 4 dozen people, and that's on a slow day.
Yeah.
I was there, yes. Zero people. Yeah.
So I've never seen that. And again, Cha'am, same thing. You were down in Krabi, Joy Beach, empty.
Yeah, totally empty. Koh Phi Phi, if anyone is like really into Koh Phi Phi and you want to do that stupid James Bond island nonsense or whatever, 0 people. Monkeys, more monkeys than humans.
I went to we did the James Bond island, like the island tour on a boat for my friend's birthday.
How long ago?
A couple of years.
Okay.
And we didn't even dock at James Bond Island because we pulled up, and I was like, we're all like, now fuck this.
Yeah,
it was
that's
just packed with people
and probably Chinese groups and groups of loud.
So our boat drive, we had rented the boat ourselves.
Right.
We didn't join a group.
No, which is good. It's like 2,000 baht maybe.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah.
And so she drove us off. We were like, can you just bring us to an island with no one on it?
There you go.
And so she literally pulls up to this beach, this perfect beach on an island, no one there.
Awesome.
And we hung out for about an hour swimming in the water.
Perfect.
Until these Russians showed up and started doing like sexy Instagram photos on the beach.
Occasionally I will see a sexy Russian, but usually it's a fat Russian.
No, the guys were fat.
Okay.
The chicks were sexy.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
That's generally how it goes.
And to be fair, that paradigm is working in my relationship, so, you know.
Yeah, I can't complain.
Fat Mike, skinny Gracie.
Fat Dana, skinny Jip.
Skinny Jip. There you
Can't complain. Anyway, guys, that is all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay strange.
Peace.